Just another day in the life of an engineer. Slack notifications going wild. AWS bills on fire. Zoom calls all day with people talking over each other and then scheduling another meeting to plan for the meeting after that. Trying to keep up with changes in features and technology and team structure. It's a lot, and I can't fix everything for you. But Miro can take a big chunk of that chaos off of your plate, and that's what we're going to cover in this video. I'll show you how to create diagrams specifically for AWS, how to estimate AWS costs from within Miro itself, how Miro AI can make your life easier by generating diagrams, documents, project trackers, and a lot more, and how to minimize some of the Slack messages and Zoom calls by collaborating and updating status from within Miro. Let's get started. For this video, I'm going to use a scenario for tiny technical tutorials, yours truly. Let's say that my little company wants to create a new feature to automatically generate thumbnails and other visuals that I use in my training videos. Now, for something like this, a product team would normally start with requirements and user stories and such, and we're going to assume that that's been done. We'll just jump into the stage where we start designing the application architecture. So I'll create a new board. And there are lots of different templates you can start with here. If you search for cloud, you'll see the big cloud providers represented: Google Cloud, AWS, Azure. Let's just filter down by AWS. And I want to start with something that's similar to what I'm building. So for the image handling that we're working on, there is one here for a serverless image handler. You can look at the preview for that, see what it's all about, any related examples that might work better. But let's say that this looks good, so we'll use this template. Okay, let me rename my board, and then we can get to work. So once you've created your diagram from a template, you probably want to make some modifications, or you could even build the entire thing from scratch using the shapes that we have over here. I'll just open those up, and then we'll go to More Shapes, where we can get to our AWS shapes. If we just search for AWS, you'll see all kinds of different things here. So all of the services represented, anything you would want to pull in for AWS. Now over here in our diagram, the template is using Amazon Recognition, but maybe we want to swap that out for Bedrock. So I'll just search for Bedrock. Here we go. And then I can drag that over here to the diagram. But you'll see that Recognition is hooked up to various connectors and so on. I could just take those and attach them over here to Bedrock, but an easier way to do this is just to swap this out. So let me just do a Control-Z to undo that back to where we started from. But if you select the Recognition icon and then come in here to Switch Type, I'll type in Bedrock, and then we'll just swap that out like so, and then I can delete this one that I dragged over. So just that simple to make changes. You can add additional icons, numbers, connectors, whatever you need to do, rather than having to go out and search for what you need online and manually pull things in. All the AWS stuff is built in right here. Okay, so that's cool, but what if you already have things set up in AWS? Maybe you've got an existing application or infrastructure, and you're just adding to it. Well, Miro makes it super easy to pull that in and diagram it. Let's see how that works. Let me just close out of here. And then down here on the plus sign, Tools, Media, and Integrations, I'll type in AWS. And here we want AWS Cloud View to import your AWS infrastructure. I'll just go through the wizard a couple steps here. And from the screen, you would just follow the instructions, create a new cross-account role, make sure it has the appropriate permissions, and then you would add your role ARN here. You can also use a command line interface or CLI and upload a JSON file to do the same thing. Or if you want to skip all of that and just see what this is all about, you can just try a sample account that Miro has set up. I'll do that. I'll select a region, US West 1. Next. And then I'll just hit on the big categories here and say Visualize. This will open up a new board. Again, it's pulling the AWS infrastructure from that sample account, and it's going to diagram what we have. Nice. So if we zoom out, you'll see the account here. Again, just a sample account. The region, We've got a DynamoDB table, some Lambda functions, some virtual private clouds or VPCs. So all of this is just being pulled directly from AWS. You don't have to start from scratch. Okay, so those are a couple ways you can work with your AWS diagrams. Now let's move on to talking about AWS costs and billing. As you probably know, AWS is a pay-as-you-go model, so being able to estimate costs is super important so you don't end up with any surprise bills. And Miro has an AWS calculator built right in, so rather than having to go out to a separate site, it can just pull things from your diagram and estimate the costs right there. Let's go back to the board that we were working on for our image handler and see what we can do here. We'll just select the services in the diagram here, and then over here on the left, click the plus sign, search for AWS, and then AWS Cost Calculator. And you'll notice that it recognizes the services that I have in the diagram. So it's just pulling those right out of there. I don't have to go sifting through hundreds of different services to find what I need. But I do need to enter some estimates here for the different services. So let's just start with Lambda. I'll just fill a few of these out to give you an idea of what it does. Let's say that I'm estimating I'll get 1 million requests per month. The duration of each request, I'll call it 350 milliseconds. Memory allocated, 1024, and then ephemeral storage, I'll just call it 512. Save the service selection. Let's also update API gateway. So for this one, we'll do 1 million requests. Average size of each request. Let's do 1 kilobyte. We'll save this one. And then for S3, let's just quickly set this one as well. And we'll call it 800 gigs. Obviously, you would need to fill out the rest of them as well, but let's go ahead and calculate this. Based on the diagram that we have, it looks like 3 cents per hour. We can also toggle to month up here, or even year. So based on what we're building right now in these simple estimates, not too bad for a budget. But super convenient to be able to do this right inside Miro instead of having to go to a separate site. All right, so that's the cost calculator. Now, as we've been going along here, you've probably noticed this AI icon in various places, and Miro AI has a ton of ways to save you time. Let me just walk you through a few of my favorites. First is generating documents. So let's say we want to create an implementation document based on this diagram, on this architecture. So I'll just select what we have here. This menu will appear up here, and we've got the button for Miro AI. Let's come into Document, and there are several things that you can just do out of the box here, but we can also submit a custom prompt. Let's ask for an implementation document, breaking down the work, giving it more detail, and see what we get. Okay, here we go. There's our implementation document. Let me add this to the canvas. And then zooming in a little bit. This looks pretty good, but there's other things you can do as well. Maybe you want a more concise version. So let's just come in here to Miro AI again and shorten. This will generate a new document, so you can always get back to that original one if you'd like, and you can continue iterating as well. Some of the other options here, we could rewrite for clarity, we could translate into another language, or we can also change the tone. Now, in addition to documents, Miro AI can generate other things for you as well. Let's come back to our diagram. We'll select everything we have here, come into Miro AI again, and rather than working with documents this time, let's come into More Objects. And this time we'll do a diagram. I'll select Flowchart. And then we'll ask for a system flow for the application. And let's see what we get. Okay, here we go. Let's add this to the canvas. And this is a great starting point. So user requests a new image. Here's how things flow through the system. Obviously, you can go in here and update shapes and add things and add connectors and whatnot. But this is a really good starting point if you're somebody who doesn't love creating diagrams from scratch. All right, one last thing to show you on Miro AI here. Back to our diagram one more time. If you don't have this Create with AI open over here, you can get there from the Miro AI button here. But this time, let's work with tables. And we'll just go with one of the built-in prompts for a project tracker that will help us build out the tasks to build this application. All right, very nice. Let's add this to the canvas. And you can make updates here to the table. Let's add a new field or a column here for assignee. Save that. And then I've got a couple other users added here in Miro. Let me go ahead and make assignments, and I'll be right back. All right, so I've added all the names here. As you're doing things in Miro, you probably need to get review or input from others on the team. And today you might do that through a bunch of Slack messages or meetings or emails, but there are a ton of collaboration tools built into Miro here, so let's take a look at some of them in action. But first, let me just kind of clean things up here and reorganize the board. One thing I like to do to keep things organized is to work with layers. So if we just click on one of our diagrams here and move to layer, we can actually create a new layer. Let's say we have a layer for project management and another one for diagrams, and we can toggle those on or off based on our audience. We'll create the one for diagrams, and then we'll do another one for project management. And then we can move things into the appropriate layers. So this one, let's make sure this is in diagrams. This one is more about architecture, but let's say this also goes into diagrams. This is a diagram. And then this one here will be for project management. So now you're able to toggle things on or off. So hiding the layer, that will get rid of project management, or hiding the diagrams, and so on. If you're presenting to different audiences and just trying to keep things simple and focused, layers can be a great tool for you. All right, let's close out of that and see how we might collaborate. Let's say on this diagram up here, I have just a few notes or questions that I want to add. So I'll grab a sticky note, move it over in the diagram to where Bedrock is generating images. Maybe I have a question here about whether we want to iterate on the image with a new prompt. And then later in the diagram, maybe I've got a question about logging. So you can drop those stickies wherever it makes sense. Then let me zoom back to the start of the diagram. And here, let's drop a comment for our team members. We'll tag Wes and Jane, asking them to review this and let me know their thoughts. I will send that. That will send a notification to Wes and Jane. In another browser, I'm logged in as Wes, so let me bring that up. And I've got the notification up here. I should also have an email for it. But let me take a look at this one. Here's the comment. Let me jump to that comment in the board. Okay, so I can zoom in here. I can review the diagram, add my own stickies, whatever I need to do. Let me leave a reply. I can add a response here. We can eventually resolve this, hopefully, but continue to iterate. And then down here in our project tracker, I can also make updates here to my status. Rather than a whole bunch of Slack messages or however you're doing status now, I can just come in here and say, okay, this one has been completed. Maybe I want to tackle this one next. So in progress, and so on. So the whole team could come in here, update status from a single place, and do collaboration here in Miro. So there you go. That's a quick look at how you can go from AWS and project chaos to getting everybody on the same board, mapping out your architectures, figuring out your costs, planning with AI, generating documents, and keeping everybody on the same page. If you want to bring that kind of clarity to your own projects, then give Miro a try using the link below. Thanks so much for watching.